Hello and welcome to yet another Toonkind at 12 FPS, who featured here in the AI server. I'm going to be one of your lovely co-hosts for this time zone, Spec or Spectral Hans, and I'll be playing one private investigator Grim Tome, a man full of every bit of anxiety in the world. Now joining me are two of the most lovely people I know with some of the most amazing characters and who I've deeply missed being able to do FPSs with.
Shakes you.
Mwah.
Thank you, Spec.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Spec. You're also amazing and fantastic, and everyone better know it.
Thank you. See, I will accept it. It means I can drag you guys down with me. Or up in this case.
Well,
And we love you for it.
I am Oatmeal, and I will be playing the professor, who has had an interesting time. Yeah, we'll get there.
That's one way to put it. And, hey there, I am Morski, also known as Morski, and I will be playing my lovely lady detective Moria, who, she's just trying her best, man. She's just trying her best.
Okay, so just to place this in the timeline, and to fill in a few blanks that were in text and not audio, shortly after Flesh, the FPS between the professor and Tome, they did have a sort of 20 questions sort of back and forth where they revealed large parts of their issues and backstory and stuff, and accidentally got drunk and ended up crying at the end. It was a thing. It was very fun and cute.
Nothing like trauma dumping with the homies.
They both reached that level 5 friendship level. Got the tragic backstory and everything.
And then also, Tome went on a investigation by himself. What was that one called?
The one where
Was
he
it,
nearly died at the end, or
Yes.
sweet.
Yeah.
Love that sentence out of context for people.
I'd say don't worry about it, but worry about it.
That one was called The Cure for Loneliness.
All right. In that one, Tome met his ex and accidentally swallowed something that nearly killed him, and is having some lasting effects, which both Professor and Moria have individually talked to him about while he was in the hospital.
Consequences of action.
Yeah.
They sure came. Especially when Tome was out of it for 2 whole weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't help he got a fucking nat 1 on his con save.
Yeah. Shortly afterwards...
The dice really said the consequences came for him.
Shortly afterwards, around Halloween, Fletch... we have the game by Fletch called Faces in the Fog, which Tome featured in. This is going to have spoilers for that, pretty much. That was a whole thing.
Yeah, also fair warning, just that this FPS will probably get on the heavier end just because these dorks are going to be throttling each other over these events. So.
Yep. And Tome came out of that pretty
Over. Yeah.
Yeah.
No great.
He was in a bad way. The professor had to fucking carry him home. And so, well, I guess we can sort of fill in, after that, the professor had been hanging out, yeah, we're sort of on to chat stuff now. Professor had been hanging out at the Layton house a lot because Tome needed the company.
I think pretty much everyone was just at the Layton house after the events that had transpired.
You're probably right.
I'm gonna be real with you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Tone voice, I need all my emotional support family members.
Yeah. Professor...
And he will have them.
Yeah. Professor doesn't have a job, though, so he's free to just chill with Tome whenever he wants.
Moria unfortunately had to do adulting, but when she was done with like being a grown-ass adult and all, she would come back home to the Layton household, so...
Yeah. Well, and then, at least, after Tome was, at least a little bit better, and the professor could, like, leave the house and he'd be okay, Professor accidentally, without thinking, kind of dropped a bomb in the chat. He revealed that he noticed an extra scrying sensor following him around, to which everyone else said, "What do you mean extra?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, like, people scry on me all the time." And everyone hated that.
For understandable
yeah, I'm
reasons,
just that popular.
Everyone else going, "What do you mean you're that popular?"
So everyone was pissed about that because that's a kind of an invasion of privacy and he should have mentioned it earlier. So he has, until he can figure out how to stop being scryed on or some sort of solution, he has kind of banished himself to the ellipsis, which has protection against divination.
And it's been like, what?
Timeout zone.
Sorry?
And it's...
I said naughty professor, go to timeout zone.
Yeah.
And it's been like, what, 1 or 2 days since that happened?
Correct. That is where we're about picking up.
Yeah. I feel like we're back at the Layton household. Moria finished work.
Finish his 5th cup of coffee.
You mean 5th?
I didn't stutter.
Question, does Moria know it's Tome's 5th?
Probably the man only has enough energy to go get more coffee, not to put the coffee cups up.
One moment then, as I double check what Moria's sleight of hand is. I'm going to get her the gloves of thievery. But she's still gonna try steal his coffee cup. That's a 5. Yeah, no, you see her look at your cup, notice the other ones at the sink. She's approaching.
He's literally just gonna hold it up. You are not tall compared to him.
You don't want to know how tempted the Moria in my head is to just climb him. She could do it. She has a plus 13 to athletics.
Moria, just
Tome.
let me have this.
Will this be your last cup of coffee today?
We both know the answer to that is no.
I'm rolling athletics. Man, low roll, but that's still a 17.
Gotta love AI's fucking modifiers.
Moria and Moria specifically can have athletics, right? So how does a 17 do for climbing her ass of a brother?
Oh, it absolutely works. I just have to roll really quick to see how fast Tome can chug.
Oh my god.
That coffee. Sweet. You, by the time you climb, Mana's already chugged down about 3/4 of that coffee and like an absolute, like, taking it like a shot.
God.
She snatches it away, and she's going to, like, with direct eye contact with Tome, dump the rest of the coffee down the sink.
That was just an absolute waste of coffee.
Next time, I'll be sure to drink the rest of it myself. Now, you said you wanted to talk about something, yeah?
Yes. The professor.
Yeah. I've noticed he hasn't been around.
Mm-hmm. I'm not upset, just disappointed.
Yeah. So, when do you want to go say hi to him now?
Now.
Alright.
Thank you.
Moria just, like, I imagine her coat was down on, like, a chair or something. She just grabs it up and she's ready.
Tome is constantly in a state of ready.
Yeah.
Man grabs his hat.
Which I guess comes to a question for you, Oatmeal. So where's the ellipsis currently parked?
It's probably no more than like a block down the street. You can see it from the Leighton house if you like go out into the street a little bit.
Okay, yeah. I believe these charges are walking directly over there then.
Beeline.
So hey, how's the prof doing on this day today?
He's doing. He's trying to figure stuff out. He's a little stressed out.
Fair.
Oh.
He is very fair. I'm so sorry, Prof, but hey, Spec, do you think like Tome would go with Moria knocking on the door, or would he just kick the door open?
He'll knock.
Okay, yeah, Prof, you hear knocking on the door. It might sound kind of familiar. Just maybe.
Yep. It takes a few seconds, but the door opens on its own, and you can see the professor at the console with his hand on a switch, looking at the door.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey.
Where's the coffee? Have you got to replace it?
You're not taking another cup.
I'm getting
dang
coffee.
It. No, you're not.
Yes,
At
I
least
am.
have some tea.
No.
Yeah, once they walk inside, he's gonna close the door, and wave a hand to lead them into the kitchen.
Prof, please tell me you have hot chocolate.
Yes.
We're
Please tell me
taking
you
that.
have new coffee.
Mori's giving a look of, please tell me you don't.
I'm afraid the boys were rather insistent that I, restock with something they deemed decent.
I'll stick to the hot chocolate then.
Moria has a smug look of approval on her face.
Professor will, start preparing some, hot chocolate then. It's good.
Oh, cool.
It's good. It's the
Yeah.
good stuff. Like, it's got, like, melted bits of chocolate in it. It's lovely.
Oh, that's the really good stuff. Well, I suppose first things first, how How are you holding up?
Well, he's just like...
I feel like that just answered it.
Like, the silence speaks volumes. Moria isn't saying that, but her expression sure is saying that.
Yep. He'll hand them their hot chocolates and, sit down heavily in a chair, at the kitchen table.
Moria will pull out a chair to go join him.
Tome will walk over to the table, sit down, take a sip of the coffee, and then lay his head down.
Oh, hot chocolate.
Yeah, gosh. Man's dreaming that it's coffee. He's in denial.
But hey, we have, we literally have this setup of the title card. Oh.
Man's going through every stage of grief over the lack of coffee.
Oh.
Okay, he can maybe get 1 cup of coffee when they get back into the Layton house, but that's for later.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what to do about the scrying. And I...
New one or in general?
Well, particularly the new one. There's not a lot I can do about in general.
Oh, I've come to realize that. I just wanted to clarify.
Okay.
I just wanted to check, are you okay though? Because, I know you wouldn't hang around us if you thought this other strike would be a danger, but whoever it is, they're still keeping quite an eye out on you.
Yes. I don't know. It's I mean, they're just watching me. It's not like I'm not used to that. I just don't know who it is and what they want. And the fact that they're going to this trouble, I'm just not sure who it could be. I mean, I haven't, okay, yeah, I've pissed off a few people, on Zatori, but most of them are either, they're either resolved in a way that they're not going to be able to scry on me, or wouldn't want to, wouldn't have a reason to anymore.
Tome is making a Muppet scrunch. He's been doing that since you said that you're used to it.
Yeah, like Moria doesn't like that, you know?
Yeah.
Man has fucking thoughts about that, actually, and he is very unhappy. Not the professor, but
more that the prof's in such a situation, though. Moria does get it. If the prof wants to roll an insight on her.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Tome too, if he wants to.
Yeah, Tome's gonna have a lower DC because he is very actively Muppet scrunching.
Shall we all then roll insight?
Oh, are we all rolling on each other? Okay. let's see. Is my insight that? I think it is. Yeah, it is. Okay. We can just do an insight each, and that'll cover.
Yeah.
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 Professor is not a detective, and it shows.
Still got a fucking 16.
That's true.
Yeah. That is quite decent.
Do not let AI sway you.
It's hard sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. AI is should not have been counted. But I guess so. You do catch Moria does kind of get being scrutinized. Even if you don't especially want it, it's just kind of a facet of life. You know?
He can imagine coming from the metropolis.
And, oh man. So I know what's the deal with Prof, even if Moria doesn't. But Prof would actually get the impression that there may have been something similar going on for Moria. As in someone was specifically keeping an eye on her. So she does get it. She really doesn't like the fact that you're just kind of stuck with this. She's really hoping that whoever is... Well, she doesn't like that there's a new person keeping an eye on you, but she's really hoping the old person keeping an eye on you really won't try to...
do anything.
Yeah, cause problems on purpose to get you back.
Yeah.
Tome is taking note of that, by the way. Moria was taking that little information and filing it away for future consideration.
Haha, Moria's in danger. Cool.
As for Tome, you both get this. Man is he's kind of pissed. Not at the professor though. He is very much pissed at the situation the professor's in.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons, you cannot read his thoughts, so I can't give you like the specifics behind it. But man, he just... I want you to imagine the Kermit Muppet Scrunch, but with angry eyebrows like pasted onto it.
That's an amazing image, thank you.
It's striking some kind of nerve with him.
And he is really pissed off. Out of character, it's because, ironically, even though Tome is on the opposite end of the spectrum, he's handed me, I don't like the idea of my friend being watched like he's some kind of zoo.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he is really, really handing me pissed off at that, actually. Like, I will go fight. I kid you not, one of the ideas he handed me was just taking Professor's hand, dragging him outside the ellipsis, flipping off the world so that whoever scrying sees that, and then taking him back in.
Oh God!
Actually, that's amazing. They should do that. Actually, family trip. Moria will help him in that. Actually.
God. Oh man. Yeah, Professor is really stressed out. The backlash of him like kind of thoughtlessly dropping the fact that he was being scryed on and has been for a while really kind of hit him hard, which is part of the reason he has been in the ellipsis since then. It spooked him a little bit. And he's just he's frustrated about the situation, but also, like, with regard to the old scrying, like, it's a very strong sense of, like, resignation and acceptance. Like, it's just a part of his life.
Oh, man.
Tome hates that. Tome hates that. Tome hates that.
Moria recognizes that, also hates that.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what they say, all the world's a stage.
And all its people actors.
Yes.
I'm feeling like a little bit of arson in that sense, then.
Yeah, I do get you. It's... Can we ask who it is keeping an eye on you?
Oh, sure. One is always, the Time Czars, the people I come from. They're, he just sort of looks at Moria like, I don't think I told you, like, aliens.
You can... Okay, like, okay, Moria doesn't say anything. Like, you can tell she is noting this down, but you say that and it's just, oh, you know, that does explain a lot. Okay.
They're a very powerful group of people who, in their early history, were very ambitious and had a sort of a warrior conqueror phase, controlling sort, but they've a long time ago since decided to sort of recuse themselves from galactic affairs, and just sort of sit passively on their own planet, not interact with anyone else, and just observe. And since I am an outlier to that situation, I am out here, I am doing things, I am interacting with people, I am causing quite a bit of trouble. They particularly like to observe me.
Ah, those sorts, okay.
Yes.
So, important question. Are they watching you at all times?
Oh, no.
Or does something have to happen?
It's just sort of a periodical thing. Maybe every few days, I'll see a sensor pop up, I don't know, once a week, and I can tell it's them, it's the same one I've seen for the past, roughly 600 years.
Wait, if you're 600, why did you still eat the burnt bean soup?
He just makes
Be
a
old,
face.
not smart, Moria.
Hey.
Tome does give a little bit of a smile at that.
He goes to, like, sip his hot chocolate. He's like, I'm actually 700.
I'm going to bully you. You still had that soup, even when I told you I'd make you one.
Well, he just shrugs.
Well, Professor, I do have a single request. Next time one of those sensors comes up, please do let me know. I would personally like to flick them off.
Oh, yeah, I'll help in that.
Tome is not joking. You can tell he is dead serious as he says that.
Yeah. Well, I will let you know if we're together and I happen to notice one. I'll let you know. I'll be honest. I've done similar.
Cool. We can help you with that then.
Yeah, I try not to be caught yelling at thin air, but it's happened.
You know,
Fair enough.
if I saw you do that, I wouldn't think anything was outside the normal for you.
Tome.
Professor.
Moria just sips at her hot chocolates.
His smile is growing slightly. Ah, he missed this banter.
Well, yes, that's right. So some of them at the times are, they really won't do anything with me. We're kind of square right now. I was exiled for a while, and then I did them, well, I kind of saved their asses, and I was unexiled. And, well, now I'm here.
Okay. So they really won't do anything to you?
No. I hope not. They're not supposed to ask me for anything anymore.
Okay, if something does happen, though, please tell us.
Of course.
I would personally like to fight one of them at this rate.
I mean, we might. There was your old rival, right, Professor?
Right. Tome, I, have what you might call a nemesis.
You getting a raised eyebrow?
Yes, he's a, time czar as well. We knew each other, since we were children. We used to be best friends, but, from, I don't know, when we were about, 25, he, tried to kill me, and, it's kind of just, he's kind of just, kept doing that, since then. He did not stay on, Falagray like the rest of my kin. He, like me, also travels, although usually he's trying to take over the world or something.
I promise to help stop him. Whenever he comes back.
Consider me involved as well.
All right. I won't say it's not possible, but I do think that I do think it very likely that he's dead. Just because he came away from the last, incident we were both involved in, very, very bad shape. I don't think he survived that.
Professor, I hate to be a downer, but did you see him physically die with your own eyes?
No, but we're also both real kind, and it doesn't quite work like that.
Professor,
out there.
You are so plot-oriented, I would not be surprised if you broke the laws of the universe just to have something that plot likely happen to you, despite not being here at the time.
I'm not saying it's impossible. Lord knows he's a cockroach of a man.
Tome trying so hard not to bully the professor too much right now. He is trying so hard right now.
Moria's just watching this and pipes up with, well, I suppose we'll see when it happens, but know that we both got your back, okay?
Yes.
Yes, that is the important part here.
All right. Look, if I get around to it, well, it won't be anytime soon, but if he doesn't show up in the next 20 years, I'll probably go out and see what's up. Check whether he's died or managed to survive.
Like a true
Okay.
nemesis.
He just shrugs.
Despite not being a
we'll be there. We'll both be there with you. So Moria just nods.
Well, oh yes, so I don't think he's scrying at me at any rate. I didn't recognize his magic. The other sort of regular scry is from one of my rather numerous enemies. There are me trying to figure out who it would be.
Admittedly, all Moria is giving me is like, so how many enemies? I know you're like an old man, but this is really funny for Moria to say because she thought she was the oldest of these three. Surprise. She's in the middle now.
Well, well, I am old, and I'm also a time traveler, so I've had, the time to, go out and make some significant enemies. I think, I'm pretty sure that the ones scrying on me now are, I think... Sorry, this is Oatmeal pausing and trying to commit to a classic Doctor Who villain.
You're so valid.
No worries. Yeah.
Yeah, what the heck, I'll just go with one of those. I'm pretty sure, based on the magic, that this one is the, Technomets. They are a, group of, how to put this? Sort of undead cyborgs. They look like, Warforged, on the outside. However, there's a good deal of, human tissue, inside.
Messed up.
Yes. It's when you, take, transhumanism to its logical extreme.
Moria boys, this is way closer to some things I've seen in the Metropolis, and I don't mean that in a good way. She's not saying that out loud, but you both can see her expression.
Tome has once again gained the Muppet Scrunch.
Yeah.
Also, do not mind me, Spec, being quiet because I need to...
No, yeah, I recognize those guys too.
You're making my nerd side kick in, so I gotta be quiet because Tome would not sound as excited as I.
Yeah.
And, well, they are very much actively the conquering type, although they are, at war with, several significant forces which are, holding them for now. Their expansion has been slowed considerably, which is good. They do know me as an enemy, and I'm, I guess, marked with a strong enough a priority indicator in their memory banks that they know to check on me occasionally. Scrying is not really a thing that they tend to do, so I think they're probably just really active right now, probably on some sort of campaign. I may go deal with it later. I may have gone and dealt with it. It's time travel. It's
Sorry, the professor saying just putting in time travel is killing me. Like Moria isn't like dying like Spec and I. Like Tome and Moria aren't dying like Spec and I are, but
It's so hard not to nerd out right now.
like there's something special in the fact that we have the Grimoire Moses and the Dr. X Spy and
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, feel free to continue, sorry.
So, since they're sort of, since it seems like they're rather active right now, they're just sort of, watching their back, as it were. I'm a known entity, to them, and, they're the sort, at least to go to the trouble, take that precaution and make sure that if they're going to move into, the Trexis Nebula, that I'm not there when they do.
Fair enough.
Not that I can't get there. Well, if the ellipsis was working, I could get there in a hour, maybe. But that's why they keep checking on me, is because I can move around so fast. Usually, at any rate.
You say the ellipsis is broken. What do you need for fixing things, anyhow?
There are a few precious metals that I'm having a little bit of trouble tracking down. Although, I managed to get some, which is good. As well as, I really need some uranium.
I can take care of that later on.
Okay.
You will have proper protection on, right? Considering it's radioactive.
You'd better.
He is looking at both of them.
Oh, I'm, more or less, It doesn't...
Don't you me?
No, it just, it's just one of those things that we were kind of, Times Hours was sort of built to handle. It just kind of gives me a bad sunburn, but it doesn't, it's not, that's all it can do, really.
Okay, well, it's better than the other option, but also you both better have proper protection on.
Yes.
Tome is just looking at you two, and he's like, you do realize there's things that have uranium that are not
I need the radioactive stuff.
Moria just puts her head in her hands.
I know you need the radio, but you do realize, like...
Of course I know that.
The amount of glass objects that, yes, when you combine enough of them, become radioactive, but, like...
Yes, of course.
I can bring you those.
Well, I don't need those. That's
not strong enough for you?
No, I mean, like, if I had, like, a warehouse full of them, maybe.
Well, I could find you a warehouse full of them.
Well, it's still not enough. It would only just, it would help, but...
So,
How
I'm
much
feeling this from the
uranium are we
gallery.
talking here? And I guess how pure of an example are we talking about here?
It
Are
doesn't
we talking?
as large an amount as possible, and purity doesn't matter. I'm going to be converting it anyway. I'm going to, in fact, have to convert it to plutonium.
Okay.
Which I'm not sure exists here.
I admit I don't think I've ever heard of plutonium myself, so...
Me, Oatmeal, trying to remember my elements. I think that's a man-made one, so...
Ah, okay. Might just be okay. Because in my case, it sounds like an element that could exist, but I'm not sure. So,
yeah.
okay.
No, I'm...
that would make sense.
I'm looking. Oh. Okay, no, it can exist. So, like, you could probably find it with, like, some... Okay, so it's not one of the ones where, like, you have to put it in the, like, large hadron, whatever, the collider to, like, create it, and it exists for, like, a split second. It does exist in a, like, physical form that's, like, it's a solid.
Okay.
It's a metal.
Yeah.
It's just probably rare enough that, gonna jump back into character here, could probably find some, with an alchemist. It's highly, advanced. I don't know quite how far, Satori is, with regards to, alchemy and chemistry, but, it's possible.
We'll look into it. And
You're
then she looks at...
You go.
And, like, Moria looks at Tome and goes, we might see about getting that warehouse full of glass, though. Might not hurt for this.
Tome nods, but he is Muppet scrunching once more at the statement about I don't know how advanced Satori is.
Oh.
Tome voice, I'm a little protective of... He's not saying this out loud, but it's very obvious that he's a little offended.
I think Professor just looks at him like, what?
You know it's really funny. Moria sees that, doesn't comment because, she used to live in the metropolis.
Yeah.
I know why she's not commenting. I know why.
You know Project Moon and some of the things that are there.
Mm-hmm.
Let us not refer to Satori by its advancements. I think we're doing quite nicely, actually.
Well,
yeah,
you are.
It is quite nice here.
Well, it is. I'm just...
Don't.
No. Look, civilization, a given civilization will advance in a particular way with very common sort of stages to it. It's not a perfect science, but it's a pattern that can be applied broadly enough that it can be observed and predicted in various places, various planets, communities, and well, look, the one I come from is a lot older, so my perspective is that Satori is a relatively young civilization. Now, is it advanced for its age? Absolutely. Especially Inkwell.
I'm sorry, the thought process Moria is giving me is sipping on her hot chocolate and just like, Prof, you're digging your hole deeper.
I need you to understand, Tome has literally been handing me, starting by pinching the bridge of his nose, and at this point just straight up has his, like, a head in his hand, looking so tired.
Like, Moria hasn't said this out loud, but it's like, you're getting the vibe you're getting from her, Prof, is you're digging your hole deeper, you know that, right?
Tome's letting him. Tome is watching him with that shovel.
Well, here we go, because he's gonna grab Moria into this. He just sort of like looks at Tome, and he looks like a little bit frustrated, and then he turns to Moria. Well, you're from the metropolis. I mean, look, they still use like horse-drawn carriages.
Moria is not saying a word that is.
Professor. My good friend. You have enough going on in your life. Let's not add me trying to punch you to it, okay?
You mean that hasn't already happened?
Yeah, that's what it has, but we're gonna... I don't need to make it a daily activity at this point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Actually, I dodged.
Don't.
Oh, of course, of course.
You're so lucky that I haven't had my 6th cup of coffee yet.
Or you just face palms.
So lucky.
God, where were we? The Technomates. They're not gonna do anything. They're busy. They're busy on the other side of the universe. They can't... they don't have the resources to send somebody over here to deal with me. They're just checking that I'm not near them.
Fair enough. I suppose something I like to make sure you know is, you're aware this won't drive us away from you, yeah?
Oh, wait, hang on.
Oh. Moria's just been getting a vibe from this conversation and what she's seen, you know?
Nonsense.
I am back.
Welcome back.
Who was talking and what were they saying?
Moria, like, Prof went on to explain a bit more, and like, you know, they aren't supposed to be a worry. Like, Moria saw this and also just added in, like, you are also aware that this won't drive us away from you, yeah?
Yeah, at that his brows furrow and like he kind of like repositions himself in the seat. Well, that's my hope, but well, I mean, you saw how people reacted.
Yeah, I did. And while people might not be happy, that doesn't mean they're being kicked out of our lives, yeah?
Exactly. Professor, I say this as kindly as possible. You cannot fuck up more than what half of us have done at this point.
I suppose what I'd like to say is it would require a serious fuck up on your end. This isn't that.
Okay.
And look, at this point we've known each other long enough that it is a little bit too late to get rid of us, yes? I do hope you understand.
Well, of course, I don't want to get rid of you.
That does bring a that does bring a smile from Moria.
But yeah, he like looks at them both to like make sure they're being genuine and seems to relax a little bit.
Yeah, no, they're definitely being genuine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I did I did look into some anti-scrying methods. They won't help with the old. They won't help with the technomets or the time czars, because they can just look. If I can block them magically, they'll just send an invisible drone.
Okay.
But this new one, well, I'm not nearly high enough level to cast Mind Blank, but I might be able to learn or buy some scrolls of non-detection. That lasts about 8 hours. That's less taxing than less taxing than having to cast Intellect Fortress on myself every hour.
What's your opinion on an amulet of proof against detection?
Not worth the trouble.
You sure?
Yeah, you have to attune to it. I'm already wearing one warding item that does help against scrying. It's not a sure thing like the amulet, but it helps. But I have enough other things that I have to, as it is, cycle through, unattune, reattune to periodically, depending on what I'm doing and what I think I need. That adding an amulet to it is just not worth it for this one, for this one person.
Okay. At least on my own end, well, at least on my own end, and I think Tome can back me up here, is we're all right with it, and we'll help you keep an eye out for who this new person is. You'll probably need to talk to the boys, though.
Yeah, I may have to occupy myself elsewhere if they don't want me near the house.
I'm sure it won't go that far, but it would be good to just have a conversation about it.
Yes.
We can be around for that if it would help.
It might. Well, I think that kind of covers that. No?
Does Tome want to add anything?
That does address most of my worries. I will admit I'm more just annoyed than actually concerned at this point. Not at you, just the situation.
Yeah. But it's good to be aware. So, thanks for telling us.
Yes, I am sorry that it didn't occur to me earlier.
It's okay. In the end, I think for us, it's, well, it's less us that's so worried about it.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I'll talk with the others about it.
You get a nod from Moria.
Now, so are you in a mental state in which you can handle being criticized?
Who's this at in particular?
Tome.
Yeah.
Tome
You kind of see Moria look over.
Yes.
Okay. Because we have a few things we need to address.
All right.
Well, you went on an investigation by yourself, and
I did.
and got a still unsolved condition and 2 weeks of a hospital stay out of it.
Yes.
And then you went into, if I understand right, you went into the ethereal plane willingly without sufficient information or a proper guide.
Okay. I will
Did
admit,
that all happen anyways? Because we don't really know the whole story.
I will admit that the first case was on me. However, the deep ethereal one is not my fault for once.
Okay.
Moria's squinting at that for once. Please no.
Tome is aware of it.
I would like to think that it wasn't your fault. And I have given you the benefit of the doubt thus far. However, I think an explanation is in order.
I'd really like to know what happened, because I know you said you'd be out for the day, but then that day became 3 days.
Yes, no, it's...
And it's been longer for you, hasn't it? You haven't spoken much on what happened.
It was a month on my end. Okay.
Yeah, Moria doesn't like that.
It was supposed to be a particularly simple case. Nothing big, nothing extreme. But a normal, my usual. I do these all the time. However, the plot struck, I guess, and what was supposed to be a simple missing persons case ended up with me in the deep ethereal.
How?
It was supposed to be a sort of ghost tour thing.
Okay.
They had a car that was able to go into the ethereal plane, not the deep ethereal, for a limited time and then come back. However, we were chased while in the thinner parts of the ethereal, and there was a glitch, and we found ourselves going the wrong direction, per se.
Were you attacked?
Yes.
Ah.
Multiple times. We're not gonna get into that, though.
I think we will.
What were you attacked by the first time?
Some sort of shadow people. We
Oh.
did not get a good look of them. We were particularly more interested in leaving the site at the time.
Professor waves a hand. They're just called shadows.
Okay. Then there was these, once we were in the deep ethereal, there was these giant spiders.
Ah, the phase spiders. Classic.
I don't like that you're so familiar with this, Ivor.
I'm...
Agreed.
I have a doctorate in planar studies? I'm...
Think you do?
You actually have a doctorate?
I have several, thank you very much, Tome.
You don't just call yourself that?
No!
Who gave you a degree?
Shut up! Lots of people.
Oh, okay, fine, I'll stop talking then.
What is a caricature, by the way?
Huh?
This laughter, I'm sorry, but that's who gave you a doctorate. This laughter is in character for Moria.
Oh, good.
But, you know, it does make more sense why you know about the metropolis.
Yes, it's...
If you have a doctorate, and not just the ability to travel there too.
Right. And even then, I wasn't there, but I did meet somebody who was from there a long time ago.
Yeah?
Yes, some fellow who's involved in, God, what was it? Some sort of containment for particular strange, God, what was it? I don't know. Some experiments, I think. Subject containment, something of the sort. Anomaly.
That does sound like something a wing would be working on.
Well, at any rate, he was rather glad to be out of the metropolis.
I do not blame them, yeah.
But through him I did learn about that place. But anyway, so the ethereal plane particularly, I know a lot about all of the planes, frankly. But the ethereal plane particularly, because you have to travel through the ethereal plane to get to, generally speaking, any of the other planes. So I'm in there frequently.
Okay.
So, yes, phase spiders.
A classic, you said.
A bit.
She's bullying you right this moment. Also, the look comes back onto you, Tome.
Tome is not saying a word.
And...
Moria raises an eyebrow.
Was there anything else after the phase spiders? Any odd things happening? Any more attacks?
Tome is looking directly at the professor and not saying a word.
What were
you told him to shut up.
Tome. Please keep talking.
Oh, so you don't want me to shut up, actually.
I wanted you to shut up about my doctorates.
Okay. Well, he is smiling again. Oh shit, my headphones.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Okay, I'm back. You're absolutely
okay. That's fair.
Sorry, Boo is making my life a nightmare right now. Well, after the face spiders, well, that's where things got a little bit more chaotic. But the next thing we ended up fighting was this sort of ooze-like creature that could take the form of people and knew our memories. Fun, right? Fun news.
Oh.
I don't like that.
Oh.
I did not like it either.
Oh, stars.
You know what that is?
Yes.
Moria's waiting expectantly.
That's a particular subtype of ooblex. A ooze sort of creature that can perfectly take the form of a person and use their memories to, well, they eat them, but also to perfect...
They what?
They eat your memories. They don't make them go away. You haven't lost anything, I don't think.
Okay.
But they do... If they feed off... Well, they collect memory. It's a part of... It's just what they find sustenance from, is memories and thoughts. Well, they use those to accurately portray people who they've come into contact with and or consumed, and use them as bait, usually.
So it's the people they intimidate are people they've come in contact with.
People they imitate.
Tome is sitting up. He is suddenly 10 times more invested.
Yeah, he's tilting his head. Well, what color was it? It sounds like a stupid question, but it's important.
Bluish gray.
Okay. So it is an astral ooblex and not just a stray, typical ooblex. Okay, so,
What does that mean?
If you were interacting, physically, with a person, then it was either somebody who the creature interacted with personally, or drew out from somebody's memory. If the ooblex interacted with me, the ooblex would be able to a limited degree, because I only know Moria so well, be able to portray Moria and appear as Moria, for example.
Tome relaxes.
Okay, then.
All right, understood then.
You are very lucky to be alive.
Yes, I'm coming to realize that.
Man, when did you fall into the habit of getting into so much trouble?
He's a detective. No, private investigator, sorry. What?
Even still, that doesn't mean anything. Not with me. I don't actually know when this started acting up. I have mixed feelings on it.
Hmm?
I suppose more is just I suppose we can only control so much what happens in life, but
Muppet Scrunch. Yeah.
Professor looks a little more, like, keenly at Tome.
Pretty sure Tome did mention his background character syndrome to Professor.
Oh, he's
did he
super
mention
did.
it? Did he mention it to Moria by any chance? I'm trying to remember now.
I don't think he has.
Neck. Prof, please tell something so Moria can throttle her brother.
Mm-hmm.
He tried to not bring it up for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Moria's going to be super unhappy. But please go on.
Mm-hmm.
Please do tell her.
Yeah, he's looking very keenly at Tome, at that sort of. Well, now, Moria, he is a Toon. They do follow slightly different rules. Tome, what do you mean by change? When this started, what do you mean by that?
When,
I did notice the wording there.
well, and kind of gives a wave of his hand. When gosh, there's no good way to put this. At least I can acknowledge that now. When I started being somewhat important.
Home, you are always important. What do you mean by that?
He makes a Muppet Scrunch.
Professor just looks unhappy, but this is not unexpected either. Well, I'm not gonna tell you for him, but...
Moria. Okay. God, this is why I try not to bring it up. So, Moria, you know I'm a
kind of
it's very
important,
obvious.
Tome.
It's kind of not something I like to talk about, though, Professor.
What have you not told me? If there is something hurting you, I'd rather know what it is.
See?
Shut up, Professor.
Is it bad that I'm just imagining Moria in worried sister mode? Meanwhile, Prof is sticking a tongue out at Tome from behind her.
At the shut up comment, perhaps.
Children, they're absolute children.
Yeah.
Moria, yeah, he motions to himself. I'm very obviously a Toon. Okay?
Yes.
And, well, Toons can develop Toon-specific diseases. Things that are limited to us due to the different ways logic applies to us. Okay?
Something that might seem
Okay.
a little more meta to people from where we're from.
You know how important the plot is to Toons, correct?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I've been seeing that for the past couple years.
Well, for most people, they fall into one of two categories. Either they live a completely normal life, or they're a sort of protagonist where things happen to them more often than the average Joe.
There is a pause, and then Moria makes a face of, is that why Camille keeps running into murders?
Yes.
However,
However, there is a third section that isn't quite known about for reasons. known as a sort of background character.
Moria doesn't like the sound of this.
These are toons who the plot has deemed not quite important, and as a result, they suffer an extra amount of side effects. I am one of those people. It's referred to as background character syndrome. I found out about the official name for it less than a year ago. But it is something I've just kind of dealt with my whole life.
Moria really doesn't like this. What does that mean for you, and what does it do to you?
Well, there's a... I wish I could say for sure, but it's due to the nature of it, it's not quite well documented. The biggest things are a simplification of design, which I have gotten a bit better, as you've noticed.
Yeah.
Lack of aging, which is why when we first met, I looked barely 20, despite being well into my 40s. Being tied to a specific role, despite any behaviors you may do to fight that. For the longest time, for me, it was the failed detective role.
I still don't see it.
Yeah, Moria really doesn't like that. You see that on her expression.
And, well, now I believe I've switched roles, possibly, to more of a father figure.
I would hope
Yes,
that
but
there's more than just those roles.
I'm trying, but I do get limited in what I can do sometimes. Think of it, you know how naturally people progress? They grow and change. For me, it's like there's a unconscious reset button there.
Is there anything we can do to get around it, and anything in particular I can do to help you with that?
Not quite. It's just something I have to try and deal with. Like I said, it's not quite documented for the last and final main symptom of the syndrome. Characters with it, well, if you have it long enough, you will start to sort of fade or disappear.
I hate that, frankly put. Okay.
It's mostly starts with memories and stuff like that. For example, for the longest time as I can remember, I've never been named in a newspaper before, no matter what case I solved. And people tend to have a little more trouble remembering me. But to my knowledge, I have not started to fade away. If anything, the opposite happened. I've been actively trying to be more involved in things, which is why I have mixed feelings on this sudden amount of plot in my life. Because on one hand, it means that I have made at least some progress in getting better. On the other hand, I do kind of miss the simplicity beforehand.
We're not forgetting you, okay? Absolutely not.
He kind of takes a slow and deep breath. I choose to believe that and hope for that.
Moria's making sure she's not forgetting. Peck you.
Oh.
Professor has had a very intense, kind of dark look.
Yeah, Moria handshake prof.
I try not to bring it up. The boys know, Professor knows. The boys are actually the ones who coined it, because they noticed that every time they'd start to make progress with me, I would randomly backslide. They eventually realized that the fact that I couldn't seem to stop... Well, you know I have a habit of running away from things.
Professor looks up, like, what?
Oh, you don't... We'll address that in a bit. Every time I would start to get better and realize that was not the way to handle things, I would just randomly backslide. It's like I'd forget everything. My head would cloud with the reason wouldn't really be there anymore, and I'd do it again.
Well, that is explaining some things I've seen, and I'm sorry I didn't realize this myself, that you've been living through this.
No, don't. It's, like I said, it's very much... The amount of cases they even have documented is limited at best. It's comes with the territory of...
Might come with the territory, but your sister really doesn't like it, Tome.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can read it on her expression. She is quite the open book compared to the other two in this room. So.
Yeah.
Tome, I know you don't like to bring it up, and I can understand why. However, I think that due to the nature of the condition, you must bring it up to improve, since a large part of it and a large part of improving is about
whether people know or not,
and changing how people perceive you. It's part you, it's part other people. You can improve yourself, but if other people don't put in the effort, then you'll only get so far.
Well, I don't like asking that of people.
Will you believe me if I told you that we wouldn't mind, actually?
Oh, absolutely, I'd believe you. That does not change the fact, though, that I would... It's complicated.
Well, let me put it this way. You don't want to ask it of people, very possibly because of the condition, because that imposes you on other people. That makes you a priority in other people's lives and makes you more likely to be remembered and have your progress stick. The less people know about it, the more it's able to progress the way it wants to and reduce you.
Tome doesn't like that makes sense. He looks a little pale at that. Well, as pale as the already paper white sheet.
Yeah. yeah. It's like Moria's quiet for a moment before she says, You might not like being a burden on others, but when you come down to it, everyone's a burden. And that's okay.
Professor...
Could you consider that perhaps we want you to rely on us too?
Professor points at Moria like, that's what I was trying to say at the hospital.
Will Smith pose at Moria.
Tome looks between the two of them, and then small smile again. You know, it's a lot less annoying when she says it.
Oh, come on.
Oh, thank you. Moria gets sister rights.
Yeah. It's one of those self-fulfilling prophecies. It's like those curses that have a caveat that you don't want to get rid of the item, or let's see, that's cursed items. And then there's the curses where they have a caveat where you're not allowed to talk about the curse. You're not allowed to admit that you're cursed.
Mm.
If nobody talks about background character syndrome, then it can't improve.
It's going to stay under the radar, and when that happens, well,
Yeah.
harder to change things, right?
Yes, no, you both make sense.
I'm not saying it's going to be as easy as just deciding to reverse that instinct of yours to keep it on the down low, but if you're aware, you might be able to push back a little bit. It might be difficult, but...
Well, knowing is the first step to getting somewhere, right?
True. Gods, how do we even get on this subject?
Well, we got here because you managed to get stuck in the ethereal plane for a whole month.
Yeah.
It seems.
Yeah.
How are you dealing with that, by the way? Well...
I can answer that badly.
Yes, sir.
I've been basically glued to your side for like the past 2-3 weeks.
He's not wrong, you know. I suspect if I didn't have a job to get to, I would be there as well.
It's not a complaint, I happen to have a pretty good read on your current state, I think.
I would like to savor the time a bit more.
You would like to what?
I would like to savor our time together more.
Hey, Tome, would you accept a hug right now?
Yeah, he'll absolutely accept a hug.
Yeah, get hugged, picnic. Prof gets dragged along with Moria.
Yeah. He will come over. 'Cause that, yeah.
Yeah. Moria gets that.
You ever get stuck in the deep ethereal for a month and suddenly you realize how often you pushed people away and you go, actually, I don't like that.
Well, the professor did get stuck somewhere for a month.
Yeah, professor gets it too.
Moria hasn't yet. We can always change that.
We can fix that.
Oh, God.
Yeah, as a treat. Anyways. I'm sure this isn't a premonition of the future. goodness.
You weren't by yourself, were you?
No, there was,
It was a ghost tour, so you had at least the
yeah.
guide.
Well, at first, the Deep Ethereal Guide ended up actually being the, Obelix in disguise.
Oh, stars. Well, that's...
Not great. Okay.
And then there was 3 other people there.
Oh, anybody I know?
You
Would
possibly
we know them?
One. One works in the Painted Lady, I believe in the kitchen.
Oh, is it Reed? I know he's made
Yes.
a lot of interesting cakes.
Yes, no, it'd be Reed.
I don't think I know Reed, but alright.
And then, well, he tugs on his coat.
Why are you so nervous?
Because, well, one of those people was either one of 2 things. Either they
Yes.
were someone who I have met in the past and greatly upset. I'm sorry, one of 3 things. Very possibly Penumbra. Or they were the universe making a very, very cool joke at me.
And what's the last option?
It was my dead partner.
Oh, Tome!
Oh.
You're getting hugged again.
Yeah, you're getting squeezed.
Tome is clutching to the professor. He is shaking slightly.
You better know that Moria is still hugging Tome as well.
Yeah, he's kind of gripping onto you both for dear life right now.
Oh, stars, Tome. Not Sebi.
Sebi.
Oh, goodness.
Well then.
It didn't look like her. She was all mutated, but she had the same name, and she acted so similar, and her person.
Well, if it's any consolation, it probably wasn't the Ublex. They're not that creative.
I don't know if that's better or worse.
They're good at imitating, but not like that.
What if it is really her then? Doesn't that mean that maybe you can actually speak to her again?
I think it's the issue of how unlikely that is, considering
She should have dissolved.
And what would happen if she didn't then?
There shouldn't be another possibility.
well,
And if there is, because you said it yourself, didn't you? Things happen.
That
well, Tome,
stuff like that. Things go wrong. They don't go right.
The universe has a way of surprising us sometimes, I find.
it doesn't always go wrong. There's every great once in a while, you'll get a small mercy. And well, I feel it's worth noting, Tome, we do know one exception to the rule with how the water tends to work.
But that was a mixture. It was changed and diluted. She she fell into the lake itself. Even if it wasn't the swallowing that the water that killed her, just coming in contact with that stuff.
I know it. I know what it does. What does she look
Real
like?
quick,
Oh, yes?
real quick question with Moria, no. I believe she's had this talk and would have talked with Tome previously about the pink water, but
Good question.
It probably would have come up even if not. I can't remember if it came up on screen. It would have definitely come up off screen since Camille.
Yeah.
shared it.
Because at this point, Moria is thinking, well, yeah, we know an exception, even if it's unlikely.
Mm-hmm.
That means an exception again could happen, wouldn't it?
Yes, I guess so.
What did she look like? You said she was mutated. In what way?
Well, she had gills all over her and a fishtail, and she had scales, and she looked like Savvy, but mixed with a sort of aquatic nature.
You said she was thrown into the water, right? And what it does is, I suppose, it evolves, well, creatures. If she was drowning in the lake,
It's not supposed to involve humanoids, though. It's
not supposed to, no.
But it could.
But then that...
I don't understand how it works either. I don't think any of us do. But...
Yeah.
But we couldn't find any trace of her. Trust me, I looked for months. I didn't want to believe that she...
Of course, dear, of course.
Yeah.
But... if she...
Right now, the truth of the matter is we don't know a lot. But if she did come out, then, well, she can be asked, can't she?
If she was hurt, it's possible she wasn't able to leave the lake for possibly a long time.
Gods, I don't... That means I was an absolute ass to her.
Like you thought she was Penny.
It's still...
Well, the good news is...
She practically died for me, and I was an ass to her.
Well, I think the good news is you have the rest of your life to apologize to her. So,
if I find her again, yes, I know that I've been meaning to talk to her. I just... Well, there's a reason I kind of been trying not to go out. I don't know if I'm ready for that.
Okay. You don't suppose when you do manage to talk to her, you can introduce us then? I do have to ask her, what are some of the embarrassing stories she might have then?
Absolutely not, actually. I've decided that you never get to meet her, actually.
I think this means I absolutely have to meet her.
Nope.
Yeah, clearly it's gonna have to happen. Clearly. You can see it on Moria's expression.
So yes, that would it was a very long month.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Was that it? Just the, 3 of you and a guide?
Yes, along with the car, Wilfred, but
Oh.
he was fine. We eventually found him and our actual guide, Winnie,
Right.
after dealing with the Ooblex, which we just left it there. It chose not to attack us in the end.
Interesting. Well...
Oh. Okay.
It didn't want to hurt us. It just didn't want to be alone.
Ah.
Well, astral Ooblexes have a slightly different temperament than, well, the usual ones, I suppose. But
Fair.
It's unpredictable. There may be a little more variety to it. I suppose this one was, well, interesting.
Lonely?
Yes, no, besides that was our journey. It was mostly just a lot of walking, and me doing my best to not get caught in my disguise, which was absolutely ruined thanks to 2 of the assholes.
Oh?
Oh?
Oh, yes,
Oh, you already just got... Well, of course, that makes sense that... Because... Her, right.
Oh, it was just in general. It's, well, I've been changing how I look more
You
often.
have?
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, that's
And-
lovely.
Thank you. And he kind of gives a wave of his hand, and you watch as like a little bit of illusionary magic passes over him before you're looking at the form of Elias, as I refer to it.
Moria smiles a bit and then notes, nice to see you share the boy's hair color there.
Professor looks absolutely delighted. He leans back and claps. Just yes.
Yes, no, I have a couple of these. This is my personal favorite. I won't lie, I tend to use it even outside of cases.
Yeah?
Well, I think it's good to exercise a little change, especially considering.
It's a good look on you, you know?
Yeah, no, thank you. No, it has been very nice. It's, well, me sitting here like, Tome, are you going to say the red flag? Are we going to nip this in the bud? Or are you going to be stupid and not say it?
Yoo-hoo.
Yee-hoo.
I'm gonna roll a D2.
Aw.
Oh boy.
Don't.
What did you get?
Or no.
Don't.
Red flag!
Oh!
Oh boy.
Listen, I promised everyone I would at least not let him spiral too fast.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Is he gonna spiral? Yes, it's Tome. God knows this man has no healthy habits. But yes, no, Elias has, that's the name I go by, been very helpful for dealing with my syndrome, I won't lie. Even if Tome is not deemed important by the plot, Elias seems to be a lot more understanding.
You do know they're both you, right? Regardless. Moria's eyeing at how he said Tome and Elias there.
Tome? That's that's a little unhealthy, the way you're, kind of, thinking about it there.
That I've established that background character syndrome runs in roles, okay? Elias is just another role I can step into. It gives me a choice.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that you get to... It's not an escape, Tome.
The choice is there regardless. I should hope.
He kind of makes a grimace.
This Elias is not a separate person, is a facet of Tome.
Yeah, no, I know that Elias is me, I am Elias. No, don't worry about that.
But you don't get to stop being Tome either.
Yeah.
Sorry?
You want to roll insight?
Yes, I do.
Sure, I'd love to.
I got a nice fun DC set right there with that deception roll.
I'm not beating it.
Thank you.
No, Professor!
I'm sorry.
No.
Hopefully Moria will...
It's fine. Moria gets it. She's going to air Tome's laundry if she has to.
Wheeze! Yeah, no, Tome looks a bit disappointed at that, though he is doing his best to hide that.
Like,
yeah,
you see the pause on Moria, and do you dislike being yourself?
You both see now why I was like, I'm going to shove this man into therapy at this rate.
Yeah, Moria just out loud goes, do you dislike being yourself?
No, it's not like that, Moria.
Well, what is it like then? 'Cause I saw that disappointment.
It's,
I know your self-esteem is pretty damn low.
Okay, Professor, not needed.
It's like quiet on Moria's end, but you get the sense from her that she is seriously worried, like, hey, did they pick up in just looking at the fact that possibly Tome dislikes being himself, and she's just like, ooh, hey.
Aww.
It's Tome has more limitations upon him, both by the plot and the mistakes I've made in the past. Think of Elias as a fresh start. It's still me, it's just less stress is carried when I'm pretending to be him.
Professor is like fucking snarling. I'm sorry, this is what he's giving me.
Trope's valid. Moria's just like, she doesn't like that. It's like, it's that thought of Did they fail Tome if he's come to, I guess, view himself as such?
Mm-hmm. Professor is
You know?
less like it's less of a guilt thought, and he grabs like Tome by the shoulders and just, Tome, as somebody who has had their fucking brain rewritten 3 times.
Oh, 1 second, getting that call.
Oh, no worries. So Moria is giving Professor a look at your brain's been rewritten 3 times. Moria voice, how am I the most okay one here? She who grew up in a war.
Uh-huh.
And she's not. I think I should have the boys roll insight on her for funsies after this.
Yes.
Goodness. Goodness.
Okay, I return.
Woo.
No worries.
I was just confirming with Leader that there are no ADO, so I will be going to work later.
Okay.
I do still have,
15
let me
minutes.
quickly, about 15 minutes. I can technically push it, probably another 30.
It might not be a bad idea if we manage to close it and then continue another time, since we still have things we can go over.
No, it's either VC or text. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And shall we?
Yes. Professor goes,
Yeah.
As someone who has had their brain fucking rewritten 3 times, you don't get to discard your past.
You can't run away from it, even if you try.
I'm not running away from it. It's not like that.
Is it
Tome
though?
is looking at the professor, though. Man is slightly intimidated, will not lie.
Yeah, or it's just like, is it though, if Elias is freed from it, per se, and you feel more comfortable being him?
He won't be freed from it. That's not how it works.
Hmm.
You don't know that. There's a chance. I mean, what happened when I was Elias? Something important happened to me. I was, even though it was horrible, I bet Sebi even,
Important things happened to Tome, too. Tome.
Tome is who I met.
Yeah, yes,
and who I decided to call my brother.
You stopped me from killing Percy. You took that vampire after it bit me. You knocked some sense into my thick head when I was saying stupid things.
You were there all the times the boys had been through trouble. And speaking from experience, yes. Even if you are to pick the role of Elias, your past will come for you. I know that from my own experiences.
Is frowning, and he kind of pulls back a bit from Professor. Okay, say that even still, that, okay, fine. Maybe Elias can't help me escape it, but I know you guys say that those important things happened are proof that I'm important, but have you considered the possibility they happened because I was there supporting the story? You know, the job of a background character?
Arguably,
these things because I'm extensions of your stories. I'm Moria's brother. I am the person who talks sense into you, Professor. But my role is an extension of you guys' role. I helped you guys get better. That's how background characters work. Is I am there for the plot, not for myself.
I disagree.
Hey, Tome. Hey, Tome. You know how a little while ago you went on an investigation on your own, and then you ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks?
There's an exception, let's be honest.
It still happened. It still matters.
The events in your life don't make you important or not important. Everyone's important. You exist.
We're all
You're
people.
important.
We are all people, and that means we all matter. Whether you think so or not.
You have an illness that makes you regress and makes people forget you. That doesn't... You're not...
Personally, I think the title of background character is stupid, and no one should really be called that. And frankly put, you are a lot more than that.
It's demeaning. It's dehumanizing.
Well, that is the point of the syndrome, is it not?
It is.
I think it's quite a fitting name.
And I think it is something that you're not going to be dealing with on your own.
I've come to realize that.
Good, because you're far more than just some background character. You're you, Tome.
Okay.
You can walk about with a costume and a different name, but don't forget yourself.
Whichever form you'll be in, and whichever costume you decide to pick, the person that's there still matters.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try. Okay. I'm sorry if you're gonna have to knock this sense back into me.
It's okay.
Obvious reasons.
That's fine.
It's okay.
And I do understand if for any reason you choose that to not do this fight.
Fuck off.
Okay.
Tome, have you heard us speak for the last 50 minutes?
Yes, true. I don't have a good excuse.
Tome,
that just means you're going to have to face up to it.
Tome, when I lost Hamish, I searched for him for 100 fucking years. I'm not going to give up on you so easily.
You're the first person I called my brother, you know? Please, be aware that it is no small thing.
He kind of opens his mouth to respond before eventually just giving a small nod. He's got a little bit of a sniffle.
Tome, please get hugged.
Mana's gonna lose that hug at this rate.
Man, yeah, Moria's probably burying her face in your coat, you know?
He is absolutely letting you. He is pulling you close.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, and part of that is going to have to be with your... part of this improvement is going to have to be with your self-preservation. You're not going to go to things alone.
Please follow me in the rules I've set up for going on investigations. We've set up those rules in the office for a reason.
You need a team.
With all of our lucks.
Yes, I definitely very much do not plan on going any big adventures by myself. I can't guarantee, though, that there won't be things like what happened with the recent ghost tours, where it's supposed to be a simple case that goes wrong.
Oh, I know. That things happen.
Oh, yeah, no, there's only so much we can control in our lives, but...
You're also going to be careful with that water, with that solution.
Yes, trust me, I do try and be careful about that.
Moria giving you a look, Tome.
What happened with the hospital incident was an exception, okay?
No, I know that. I'm referring to...
I still have it in multiple cases, Professor.
Good. Alright.
Why do I get the feeling that you didn't have the pink water so safely closed previously?
Because I told you.
It doesn't need to be, but for the sake of Professor's sanity...
Yes, it does.
It does not.
Yes, it does.
It does not.
Yes, it does.
5 years, not a single problem.
Let's just not...
You are getting such an unimpressed look, Tome.
Better safe than sorry, dear.
Yeah.
What was that? Speaking of your visit to the hospital, how's your head?
He does make a face at that. It's still acts up. Acted up during the fight, even. That's, well, honestly, that's how I knew that the creature didn't plan on hurting us.
I see.
How do you mean?
Yes, I don't think it came up in conversation with you, Moria.
Oh? More was found out about what you have?
Post waking up, and I guess a little bit right before I passed out, I have become able to basically cast detect thoughts at will.
Huh. Okay.
Do you have more control over it now?
I still don't know exactly what triggers it. No.
Oh, right, so close to at will. It's at will in the sense that you can just do it, not necessarily that you meant to.
Yeah, no, it's still on accident. I've been meaning to actually try and figure out how to control it, but I'm quite certain. Speaking of not doing things alone, I figured it would not be the smartest idea to test that by myself, considering the effects it has on me if it goes wrong.
Yes,
What are those effects? Moria has a dangerous look in her eyes.
Well...
For when he starts bleeding.
The nose bleeds?
Mm-hmm. That is a result of it. A headache as well. If I try and for any reason, whether I'm trying or not, it happens back to back, it starts getting harder to focus, and eventually I'll just pass out.
I see.
At least the one I saw had him in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it's very much not an enjoyable experience. I could...
Understandable.
I could describe it as being hit like a freight train.
Okay. You two want to roll like an insight for fun on Moria?
Absolutely. Fucking-lutely.
Honestly, Spec, if you wanted to do picked up things, with that funky fun ability, that would be a great time for it,
no.
even.
Oh, I mean, my one requirement out of character for it is Tome normally is almost always Tome has it's activated when Tome was trying to insight someone.
Oh, lovely! In that case, so Oatmeal, Moria has a look of exasperation on her. Moria has a look of exasperation on her face. Tome, I think you just straight up hear Moria thinking, going, how is it when I grew up in a war, I'm the most okay out of us three?
1 second. To update his sheet, he passed.
Yay!
Oh boy!
Yay! We love to see it. Growth!
Yes,
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, he just fucking... He 1 second, I have to actually, add this in.
Yep.
Yeah. No worries.
I have to log every time he does actually succeed, in canon, because that,
affects how things will go.
Yeah, it lowers his overall DC if he gets enough proper. Tome kind of frowns at that and makes a face at Moria. You aren't very much, let's be honest, not normal.
I'm sorry? Where did that come from?
Moria just said that.
No. Moria hasn't said anything.
I did think something just now. What did you hear me say?
Tome frowns. How... Something about how, despite being from the metropolis, you are the most normal one of us.
Well, I did, Yeah, like, specifically, Moria commented, how am I the most normal one despite growing up in a war, so,
Tome is patting his nose, like, where's the blood?
There is a pause, and, well, I didn't say that out loud because I figured Prof might take a bit of insult to that.
He just shrugs.
Thank you.
I can't blame you. He gets easily insulted.
Oh, come on, stop.
See?
The professor just, like, makes a face and leans back. He's trying not to be nettled.
Professor, I'm so mature.
Yeah. Sorry, but, like, this laugh is in character from Moria. In this case, no. I fought it.
Tome. Did you just, without getting hurt?
I guess I did.
That's
I didn't know that could happen.
That's good.
I'd say you'd agree with that. Getting more used to it, perhaps?
Maybe I could try again.
Only if you want. I mean, I'm here. You can, if it goes bad, I can, give you a greater restoration, help out a little bit.
All right. Professor, would you mind, since
No, of course not.
Kind of taps his head at and glances at Moria because he's already up in there.
Yeah, like there's also a pause from Moria, and I don't mind, by the way.
Okay, good.
Pat.
Meaning to try and warn people. I keep forgetting to bring it up. All right, then.
It's okay.
I realize I have absolutely no idea how to do this.
Well, that's all right.
I don't know. Professor. Think about maybe the funniest or most embarrassing thing that's happened to you.
Oh.
Tome is suddenly very interested, actually.
He makes a face, but does seem to be thinking, and I now have to think of what I should pull up as a memory.
These darts are picking siblings.
All right.
I'm laughing. Sibling behavior.
Oh, fucking close. Tome, while you're thinking about that, Oatmeal, Tome kind of focuses on the professor, and he stares for a moment before he lets out like a little hiss of pain and pulls his head back as he reaches up to his nose where a small little line of blood has started to appear.
Okay, well, I think that's a sign for a break.
Yes, no, agreed. I guess I don't have it completely figured out then.
Well, that's okay. Progress can be slow. He's gonna take a packet out of his pocket.
Whoa, tissues be upon you.
No, it is actually, it's well, you don't know what's inside it, but it is a paper packet with, it sounds like maybe sand in it. He crushes it in his hand. It disappears. His hand glows. And he pats it against Tome's face. Get greater restoration, idiot.
Hey. In that case, Moria will go obtain a tissue so Tome can clean the blood.
Thank you. And he starts wiping away. So yes, there's a that Moria as well, which I don't even know where to begin with that. I still don't even know what I swallowed.
I don't know. That's very strange.
Well, regardless, we will be keeping an eye on that.
Yes. I can help you a little bit. I have some training as a telepath. I'm not nearly as good at it as I used to be. Different brain chemistry, but I used to be a decent telepath.
Oh, really?
Tome is looking at you like, what?
Well, there's a low-level innate telepathy in Time Czars, although it's granted usually just between each other. So I grew up with a sort of, there's a bit of a low empath sort of culture. And, well, I mean, I had to be good at it for a bit because, the maestro's better at it than I am.
Wait. Do any of you have a single normal name?
What? Huh? What do you mean, you?
The professor, the maestro. Next thing you're gonna tell me is there's someone called the doctor.
Shut up.
I don't know. Is there someone called the doctor?
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. Would you have someone called, I don't know, the master?
Just glares.
The puppet smith. The smith.
Stop. What do you mean normal names? What do you consider a normal name for an alien, huh?
I don't know. Moses?
Moses?
Mm.
Well,
What's a
Tome at this moment does not know that one other person he knows who's an alien is an alien, so he can't say that.
My brother. I told you, his name is Ivan. That's normal.
The Ivan.
You guys have normal names?
He's not the Ivan, he's Ivan Bavertiel. It's a normal-ass human name.
And then yet
it is.
By... No, actually, no, looking at your ego, I'm not surprised.
It's tradition.
It's tradition. Oh.
It's normal on Falagrey. And I won't
keep that in mind.
I won't deny it's because as a race we are pretty self-important.
Does that mean there's someone called a detective over there?
It's
I would love to meet that one.
It's more than likely.
Okay, so we've got this. You know what? I'm gonna make a list at this point.
Oh God.
I'm very invested, Professor, in this. Now, I won't lie.
Stars.
Probably. Oh, you guys probably have like the surfer, the astronomer.
Well,
what happens if more than one of you wants to have the same name? What if somebody else goes, you know what? Actually, I would be a better professor. Do you like duke it out or something?
One-on-one combat?
Maybe.
Did you have to fight for your name, Professor?
No.
I should.
You know someone who had to?
Professor.
I have known people who have had to do that. Yes.
What happens to the loser? Do they just have to pick a new name?
Basically.
Is that how you get names like Ivan?
No, no, it's more that nobody wanted it, so I didn't get challenged for it.
Oh, okay.
If you're an ambitious asshole, you name yourself the Professor, and you have to fight people off for it.
How would you admit you're an asshole?
Yes. I was especially when I named myself.
Wait, you could be more of an asshole than you are now.
Yes.
It's okay. We love you anyways.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Moria. You may say that, but I just don't believe him. He must be lying. You can't be worse than you are now.
You have no idea. I was a mess. I was terrible.
You are a mess. Okay, you aren't terrible anymore, but you are a mess. Let's not put the past and present tense mixed up there.
Listen, I was a horrible person.
Well, you are now.
The good thing is that you've grown past that.
Yes, yes.
I can't believe somewhere in those 700 years you actually gained a semblance of maturity.
Mm.
You're getting smirked at, Professor.
All right.
Well, I think for a starter, shall I make us some more hot chocolate and then we can see about what's a good way to get you some more uranium?
Seems like a good idea. Though I will not be having hot chocolate. You know what? I'm done with this, actually. And he reaches into his hammer space and he takes out a Pritch energy drink and just drinks it like a shot.
Oh no, you don't.
No, he is standing up. He is walking away.
She's going to climb up him, as is her right. When 24, picnic.
Let me have my caffeine.
No, you've already had way too much.
I need more.
No!
Do you understand the amounts of caffeine I need? I need it.
Get well soon. I'll find you better things to wake you up. Like an actual legit breakfast.
This is breakfast. It has a... He pulls away the can to look at the ingredients. Stuff in it.
Not good enough. Professor, do you have actual food in your fridge? I will cook right now if I have to.
Yeah, yeah, let's have breakfast. I haven't eaten either.
I'm inviting my sons into this place now.
Okay.
Okay, good.
I'm going to let Jubilee run wild in here.
No! He has to be invited.
No.
Well, he's being invited now, isn't he?
Yes,
make sure to call
well, it's a good...
Make sure to call Leo and Camille over too.
It's a good thing I keep the door locked.
I will unlock it for them. This is what you get for betraying me, Professor.
No.
This is what you get for betraying me. Title name.
Shut up.
The asshole.
By the way, it's at this point that Moria snatches the can and just goes, okay, where can I put this so it can get burnt?
The incinerator!
Give it back! Give it back! Give it back, the Moria!
Professor opens a drawer and, like, a flame licks out of it. Like...
yes. The incinerator that belongs to the Professor in the ellipsis as part of the culture that the Professor is from, that the two things in.
You know that this bitch empty. Yeet. That's the kind of film Moria does. Just picking slam dunks the energy drink in there.
Nice.
Tome looks at that. Looks directly at her in the eyes. Pulls another one out and starts chugging.
Damn it. She'll climb you again.
Keep doing it. He's got an unlimited amount of these in his hammer space.
Bold words from somebody whose name is Book.
That does get a snort from Moria.
I'm a Toon, at least. Of course I'm going to be named Upsetting Book. I'm a detective.
I suppose that just means I have the best out of all three of us, then, huh?
Yes. Oh, God. I'm literally named Upsetting Story.
Oh.
Okay, that's a little fucked up.
A little bit. I mean, it's a good name, but still.
A pause, and you get a pat, and you still have a really lovely babe, okay?
Thank you.
Both of you.
At least my middle name.
Both of you.
What's your middle name?
Yeah?
Oh, it's Roar.
No. Just...
What?
Grim Roar Tome.
Tome is smiling.
So you're telling me your name is Book?
Oh, I guess it is.
I'm sorry, but Brain immediately handed me Can't Believe Tome is the moon of books.
I need you to know 2 of my characters are like that. Quinn, the definition of that name is ruler. He's literally called Ruler.
Nice.
I have Book and Ruler. Anyways.
I think they chase each other around the kitchen, trying to keep Tome from chugging an energy drink while Professor and Moria take turns trying to make breakfast while this is happening.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I love these shenanigans.
They're so very good.
Alright, well, that will do it for us. Thank you, too, for playing with me. This was awesome. It was adorable.
This was amazing. Thank you for having me.
I love whiplash.
Yeah. These dorks are so very good. And you two are the delights to play with.
No,
You
thank
are as well.
All right, but that's gonna be it for today. We are going to wish our listeners a good time zone.
Thank you, Liz, for listening with us, and for anyone else who'll be listening in the future. You are awesome.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.